Well, unfortunately, it's been a crazy few days for parts of San Diego, with just wildfires and significant wind gusts just leading to more wildfires. In today's video, we're going to be talking about this wildfire situation and what could be in the near future, if there's any signs of relief to this situation or anything like that. So, yeah, this is just some recordings from NBC News crews just out there working to get those fires under control. Things have not been too successful, but I mean, just look at these fires. Alright, so now we're just gonna get into the forecast by me to see if there's any signs of relief with this situation. But yeah, let's get into it. Alright, so starting off with the video, obviously you saw those tremendous fires out there just causing more and more damage to places like San Diego and portions across southwestern portions of California. This will only continue to linger and not really show any signs of subsiding. But the SPC, or the Storm Prediction Center, has put out a one-day outlook for the fire weather outlook. That is, there's an extreme portion and portions of, I don't know the exact locations to this, but there's an extreme area of fire potential in a little spot in southwestern Florida. There's a more elevated risk that's a little bit on the it covers a little bit more land on the side of things. It covers the coastline, obviously, and then there's that critical area of wildfires. Tomorrow's day 2 fire outlook. Tomorrow's day fire outlook doesn't look to get any better. As you can see, if anything, that orange shaded color is only expanded even farther into portions of Southern California and into Western California as well. That's your critical area. The extreme area covers still a small sliver of California, but still not good stuff. So with this being said, let's get into my forecast for this potential area. So with these winds, they look a little bit on the calmer side of things right now. If as far as the HRRR model goes, this is windy.com that I'm using for this. So this is for the next couple of hours. Things don't really look to settle down any. I mean, even in the mountainous areas, you're looking at between 20 and around 30 mile per hour sustained winds. That's not going to be great. Those winds continue, and they will continue to be windy and gusty at the same time. Winds will be probably between 25 and 35 miles per hour up in the higher elevations, obviously. This is not a great sign for California at all, or Los Angeles to begin with. Those winds will continue, and they might even get more gusty into Wednesday. Now, looking more into the future, these winds will eventually subside, but they're just going to get more increasing because high pressures in control will lead to some additional gustier winds. At points, they'll be quite calm, but then again, any sliver or any of the slightest of winds will create more problems as far as fires go. I'm not really worried about significant amount of power outages or anything, even though that is definitely a possibility with these damaging winds, especially right along the coastline where gusts could reach, I'd say, between 50 and 65 miles per hour. And we'll take a look at those wind gusts in just a minute. But but obviously you get the general idea. So wind gusts are coming in next. So here's the wind gusts. Winds will be gusty through tonight, I think, between 30 and maybe even closer to 45 miles per hour in some spots. Winds will continue to go like that, especially in the mountainous areas where that's probably where the highest, my prediction is the most amount of fire spread is going to be in those mountain areas where you can get the higher elevation and those higher wind gusts. This right now looks between, I'd say, 45 and 55 miles per hour, with slight areas maybe hovering around that 60 mile per hour mark. But through tomorrow, it doesn't look any better. Winds around 5 a.m. winds could be gusting as high as 60 miles per hour. I would not even rule out a gust over 60 miles per hour in some spots, with additional spot right up here where you can just see that blue-teal kind of look to it, between 65 and 70 miles per hour. I don't really think it's going to get much higher than that. But obviously, you can definitely see higher wind gusts than that, obviously. It will likely spread into the Santa Clarita area, with winds gusting near around 70 miles per hour, especially in the very high peaks in the elevation, with gusts anywhere away from the coastline, especially anywhere from Los Angeles to San Diego, gusting right along the coastline between 10 and 30 miles per hour. But in the mountains, you'll be able to see winds gusting at least over 45 miles per hour at the very least. Wind gust peaks, I'd say, according to the HRR model, if we look in here, there's no town in here, obviously, but that little sliver of teal, and up in here as well, that little sliver of teal, near whatever valley that was, I'm not sure what it was, but anyways, I could see gusts to around 65 miles per hour, maybe 70 miles per hour at times. That continues, those winds will calm down a little bit, but then on Wednesday I don't know, it doesn't get interesting again. It stays the same, this little area here. So this is what this tells me. This area in here between Santa Clarita and San Bernardino, I don't even know how to pronounce that name, and I won't attempt to do it, even though I did. Winds becoming gusty between 45 and 70 miles per hour, I definitely would not rule out. Maybe an isolated wind gust over 70 miles per hour, but I think in this general area between San Bernardino and Santa Clarita, we'll potentially see winds gusting as low as 30 miles per hour in the lower terrain to around 70 miles per hour in the highest peaks of the mountains, obviously. Now, it doesn't matter whether you get a 5, a 10, a 15, or 20 mile per hour wind gust, even up to 70 mile per hour wind gust, you're still going to have fire spread, so it's not helping the situation really any. And then through 6 a.m., again, this main area of concern will remain that, and that's probably why I think that's that exact area of where that extreme area of concern is for those wildfires. Now for weather alerts. Alright, so here we are. So obviously there's red flag warning for portions of San Diego. Notice right along the coastline where those gustiest winds are not likely, but they'll still gust to near around 10 to 30 miles per hour, are not in a fire warned area. And that's probably why, because those winds are significantly lower, if anything. Notice inland where in those general areas, in that highest peak area, there's high wind warning. There's wind advisories that cover this little area in the four corners of each state, California, Nevada, I don't know, Utah, and I know the state of that one. I think it's New Mexico. Correct me if I'm wrong. It's not Arizona, I don't think. Either way, there's a cold freeze warning here for probably temperatures in the mountains, at least getting below zero, not below zero, but anyways below 32 degrees, I would think. Wind advisory for those three states, I should say. It wasn't 3. And then there's also those, again, these gustier winds are obviously going to lead, in those higher elevations, are going to lead to very, very cold temperatures. And I don't think that really affects the fire any, but nonetheless, those winds are going to be damaging and potentially gusty enough to create widespread fire issues, wildfires that is, because this isn't someone like just lit up an entire forest with a single match or anything. This is driven by mostly gusty winds. Because they had a wind gust approach 100 miles per hour, if not, I think it was actually 100 miles per hour. But there's high wind warning in that high peak. Again, you get the general idea. It's going to be a windy few days, and that's just going to lead to more problems. So if I were to say any area that gets the most amount of spread wildfire, again, I don't want any wildfires to continue, but it doesn't look like that's going to subside any. So I think it's going to be between Santa Clarita and San Bernardino are going to see the most significant amount of fires, and those fires will probably rush very fast, because if you get a 65 to 70 mile per hour wind gust, those fires are going to move around fast. So it's not a good ideal situation for this area, but the good news is I think on Wednesday those winds will begin to subside, especially maybe in the afternoon hours, because if we look at the European model, hold on. Going to the European model as we go through the next couple of days, this is the European model. Again, notice I don't think the European model is correct with this data that I'm seeing, but I think winds will begin to subside, not very long, but between Wednesday night and Thursday. Again, I can't really tell. I mean, I can take a look at the NAM model. Yeah, that makes sense. Wednesday night into Thursday. But then we get more high pressures to form. There's going to be one that forms out in the west somewhere. It's going to become strong with that Arctic blast. That's only going to lead to more wildfires, because that's just going to lead to more downslope winds. So that's not a good signal either. Anyways, yeah, that's going to do it for this video. It's kind of a smaller video, kind of a quicker video and things, because again, this is a serious ongoing situation. However, it takes a little bit less time to create a video for it. So again, any areas in California, really, it doesn't even matter if you're in these specific areas that are concerning in California. You could be in the entire state of California somewhere, I don't know, somewhere in there, and you could just see any form of wildfire, because it doesn't really matter where you are, because any little tiny bit of wind is going to probably create a disaster situation. So disaster ongoing in California, obviously. There's an extreme outlook for fire weather as far as the SPC is showing, Storm Prediction Center. There's also a critical and an elevated. It doesn't matter where you are in this area of shaded area. It doesn't matter if you're in it doesn't matter if you're in the extreme area, the elevated, the critical area. You need to evacuate. That's my only suggestion, really. And it's you need to evacuate, because fires are extremely deadly, believe it or not. Extremely deadly. And with these winds coming down slope, again, they're gonna most likely, since they're coming down slope and then they get into lower terrain, they're probably gonna become less gusty. So you're probably talking between 10 and 30 mile per hour wind gusts right on the immediate coastline, going a little bit, a few miles inland, and then you're quickly running into these areas of critical and extreme. Extreme area, I would get out of there right now, because it's just going to be a complete disaster, and the disaster is already happening, as you saw with that NBC News video. But yeah, that's really all I have for you in this video. So if you're out there in California, prayers out to you, man. I don't really know what else to say. Just you need to evacuate. Again, thoughts and prayers going out to you guys. Hope you guys can evacuate safely and not have anything, have anyone injured. I know people are going to get injured nonetheless, but serious situation ongoing. I don't know if I'll make another video on it, but I wanted to make this video since it seems to be a big ongoing situation. Nothing out of the ordinary that I've seen in my past couple of years of tracking the weather, obviously. We've seen multiple wildfires in California. This one will definitely be a historic one. So yeah, this wildfire ongoing. If you're out there, evacuate as fast as you can. But yeah, that's all I have for you this video. So yeah, hope you guys enjoyed. If you can, make sure to like the video and at least consider subscribing to the channel. It would help me out a lot. We're trying to reach 50 subscribers. But yeah, without further ado, stay safe out there as always. And yeah, we'll see you in the next one. Bye.